Mugello, a land of beauty and tranquility. Located just a short distance north of the crowded city of Florence, Mugello highlights the finest parts of the Tuscan region. Its majestic mountains and breathtaking valleys offer a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Founded by the Ligurian Mugelli and later influenced by the Etruscans and Romans, this land contains palaces, castles, and many other rich historic sites. The Medici family of the 14th century had a great influence on the Mugello through their paintings, sculptures, and other artistic accomplishments.
The area is really very important in the history of Italy and in Tuscany in general. They have the finest collections of Italian Renaissance art. It is a bit off the beaten track, but people don't know the natural beauty of this area.
Una bella zona fra Firenze e Bologna.
The Mugello is a beautiful area between Florence and Bologna. It consists of 9 communities, rich of history, and a mixed economy. The economy consists of green and a little industry, a lot of raising, and I would say a lot of joy of life. The 9 communities are also very diverse. They speak different languages and have different accents, which you will see as you tour the area because we are halfway between Tuscany and Emilia-Romagna. We are a place that in history has always been a meeting place, a place of contact and relations. We hope this opportunity can continue with these meetings and experiences in the growth of contacts. We're open and we welcome your visit.
Noi siamo aperti, benvenuti alla nostra visita.
Faccio l'assessore nel comune di Vaglia, che è il comune più
Vaglia is the most southern community in the Mugello, closest to Florence. It is only 10 kilometers from Florence. It is the community with characteristics different from the others in Mugello because, from a geological point of view, half is part of the community of Mugello and half of the Florentine area. It is distinguished by 2 mountains, Monte Varello and Monte Cenario, which are about the same height. There's a valley in the middle, which in fact is a primarily residential community with the highest income in the Mugello, because most of the revenue does not come from the Mugello, but comes from the city of Florence. From a naturalistic point of view, it is a community that is very beautiful because flat territory there is almost non-existent. It is a hilly and mountainous territory.
From atop a mountain overlooking the region, visitors to Vaglia can explore the convent of Monte Cenario. This sacred place was built in the 13th century by the 7 founding fathers of the Servite order. Vaglia is also home to the park in Pratolino, Villa Demidorf, that features the remains of the colossal Renaissance statue fountain of Apennino by Giambologna, overlooking a small lake. It is also home to the Mignon statue and the hexagonal chapel, which is supported by 14 stone columns. The park contains centuries-old oaks, cedars, and horse chestnuts, which are every bit as impressive as the man-made monuments. San Pietro a Seve is located on the Post Road, which until the 18th century was the only communications route between Florence and Bologna. Its very narrow streets and lanes lead up to the convent Bocco a Frati, which houses a small yet significant museum of sacred art, displaying Donatello's Dying Christ. The Trebbio Castle, home to the Medici family, dominates the entire Mugello Valley. Barberino is an area of both scenic beauty and modern attractions. The Castello Mediceo di Cafaggiolo is one of the oldest and most favored of the Medici family estates. The major modern-day attraction of the Barberino area is the designer outlet, which hosts over 95 stores. The outlet matches the facade of the town with its Renaissance architecture. The skillfully developed Bilancino Lake invites visitors to explore its natural beauty and recreational activities. Scarperia is famous for the art of making knives and contains one of the most important sacred structures of Mugello, St. Agata, a late Romanesque church. Il Palazzo di Vaccari, the Palace of Vaccari, is decorated with a variety of coats of arms and other emblems left by prominent families of the Scarperia area. Il Mondo del Golf has been deemed the best new 18-hole golf course in Italy. A highlight of this area is the Autodrome del Mugello. Built in the 1970s, this track is host to Formula One tests and trials, World Motobike and World Superbike Championships, as well as the Italian Grand Prix.
Borgo San
Lorenzo is a city of 18,000 inhabitants and is a little bit in the center of the community of Mugello.
Borgo San Lorenzo is located in the center of the Mugello region. The Villa Pecori Giraldi welcomes visitors with its cultural and educational services that showcase its works of art. Tourists can explore the Museo di Casa di Erci, located at a farmhouse on the bank of the River Erci. The museum houses over 2,000 tools, objects, and documents honoring the rural life of the peasant farmers. A specialty of this area is the bread. Healthy and all natural, the bread is made using wheat milled from a stone mill, which is then fed water to keep the best parts of the grain. This produces fresh bread known to this area. Vicchio is considered the heart of the Mugello region. The breathtaking countryside consists of flat, fertile land and green hills enclosed by a mountainous terrain. Vicchio possesses a highly artistic architectural heritage. Artists like Giotto and Beato Angelico's figurative art can be seen at Beato Angelico's museum. This museum highlights all aspects of art, including religious and anthropological. Giotto opened his home to the public, which is now a museum strictly dedicated to his art. An exciting event of the region is the Giro d'Italia, an annual long-distance bike race for professional cyclists. Completed over 3 weeks in May or early June, the race begins in Vicchio and continues on throughout Italy. The Upper Mugello encompasses Firenzuola, Palazzuolo, and Marradi. Each area is distinguished by individual history and characteristics, but share elements of great naturalistic importance, natural products, and traditional crafts. Firenzuola, meaning Little Florence, was founded by the Florentine Republic in the 14th century.
Sono il sindaco del comune di Firenzuola, un comune che fa parte della comunità montana del Mugello.
Firenzuola is part of the mountain community of the Mugello. The community is located to the north of the Mugello on the border of Emilia-Romagna. There are about 5,000 inhabitants, and most of the activities are agricultural and produce a lot of meat and milk. We have a meat industry. Firenzuola is famous because of the type of stone mined in the area called pietra serena. With this stone that is mined, most of Florence was constructed during the Renaissance era. This activity employs 300 to 400 people. It gives a lot of revenue, and it is the major economic resource.
E che rappresenta forse attualmente la più grande risorsa economica.
Palazzuolo is a quaint and peaceful town with interesting historical and artistic features. Its well-kept medieval village, set on the banks of the Senio River, capture and preserve the 14th century Palazzo di Capitani in the main square. Visitors of the Palazzuolo area can view numerous documents and artifacts which depict the customs and daily lives of the people who live there. Marradi is the final municipality of the Mugello region. Its annual bread festival brings the community together to barter goods. Here, locals display animals, farm equipment, and handmade crafts. As in all of Italy, the food of this region is always a delight. Exploring the untapped beauty of the Mugello countryside is an unforgettable experience. The gastronomy and hospitality of the Mugello region is sure to thrill even the most experienced Italian traveler. Cultural connoisseurs will adore the art and culture that only Mugello can provide. The people, the food, the land, the culture. Mugello, a place where beauty knows no end.